Dear learners, welcome to UGC MOOC on Tourism Planning and Sustainable Development. Today, we shall be taking up topic positive and negative impacts of tourism, environmental, economic and socio-cultural impacts. So, after this topic, you people will be in a position to understand the concept of tourism impacts. You will know about various types of tourism impacts and you will understand the positive and negative tourism impacts. Tourism industry consists of various segments like accommodation part, transportation and entertainment segment with guest attractions. For example, amusement park, carnivals, sports center, exhibition hall and so on. Tourism and its management are firmly associated with every single significant capacity, procedure and methods that are honed in different regions identified with tourism as a framework. Tourism segment worked whether on a major level or low level, it generally impacts the local community. Tourism produces social advantages to the area. Socially, tourism is considered as a part of people's progression. This is attributed to the get-together of different social orders. Similarly, tourism can firmly add to the upkeep of basic natural surroundings by guaranteeing, making or keeping up national parks or other insured zones. Tourism impacts. Tourism is a standout amongst the most imperative segments of the worldwide tourism economy. It creates billions of dollars in income and a huge number of jobs around the world. It is considered by the numerous groups, particularly in the developing nations, the main instrument for advancement. It is the main source for expanding the personal satisfaction. Tourism business has extended from oceanside to mountain resort and from little town to big cities. Let's take a look on the economic impacts of tourism. Tourism industry creates wealth and jobs, but the wealth leaks from the community and the jobs are mainly of low income. From the socio-cultural perspective, tourism brings together people from different backgrounds, cultures and traditions and promote peace. But at the same time, due to globalizations, many communities have lost their cultural identity in their village or town. People helps to create national parks and protected areas where unique example of flora and fauna can be found. There are also economic consequences of most social and environmental impacts that are not usually addressed in an economic impact analysis. These can be positive or negative. For example, traffic congestion will increase cost of moving around for both household and businesses. The economic impacts of tourism, if we take together, firstly, we'll have a look on positive impacts of tourism. Foreign exchange to host destination. Tourism consumption produce income to the local economy and can upgrade the investment important to economic development in other local regions of economy. Barely any goals nations try to build this development by expecting travelers to get a foreign exchange for every day of their stay in destination. A critical parameter of the part of worldwide tourism is its making of foreign exchange earnings. Tourism is one of the top 5 export sectors for top 83 of nations and is a primary source of foreign exchange earning for not less than 38% of nations. That's a big number. Tourism increases government revenues. Tourism increases for government revenues by directly generating taxes on earnings from tourism business and tourism related other fields. It additionally produces taxes and imposes from sightseers, for example, take-off taxes and different taxes. Tourism also plays a role in terms of indirect benefits that come from taxes and duties levied on goods and services sold to tourists. Tourism contributes for local employment generation in destination. Tourism contributes for local employment generation in the destination such as international tourism and domestic tourism has contributed for significant employment creation. Tourism generates employment directly and indirectly through hotels, resorts, travel agencies, restaurants, theme parks, nightclubs, taxis, and souvenir sales. Supply of goods and services needed by tourism related businesses in the tourism destinations. Dear learners, now let's have a look on the negative economic impacts of tourism. There are various concealed expenses to the tourism which can have undesired monetary effects for the neighborhood group. Much of the time rich nations are better prepared to profit by tourism than poor ones, while the slightest created nations have the most desperate prerequisite for cash, work and journal increment in personal satisfaction by techniques for tourism. They are minimum prepared to comprehend these points of interest. Among the clarifications behind this are substantial scale salary of tourism spills out of the host country and avoidance of nearly items and organizations. Tourism creates financial leakage also. The direct economic benefits of tourism is the measure of visitor consumption. That remaining parts locally after duties, benefits and wages are paid outside the area and our imports are bought. These subtracted sums are called financial leakages. Tourism also causes increase in price of the destinations. Tourism causes increase in the demand for basic services and goods from tourists that cause rise in the price hikes in commodities and services. This can negatively affect local residents whose income does not increase with passage of time. Tourism development and the related rise in the real estate demand may severely increase building cost and land values. This can make very difficult for local people to sustain livelihood and meet their basic daily needs. Economic dependence of the local community on tourism. Economic diversification means the prosperity of local community. In any case, if a country or locale winds up subordinate for its financial survival upon one industry, it can put more stress upon this industry and moreover the general community required to perform well. Various destinations, especially in developing countries with little abilities to explore various resources, can contribute to tourism as a way to deal and improve the economy. Dear learners, let's have a look on the socio-cultural impacts of tourism. Tourism has often been associated with the contact between cultural behavior, values and traditions. Tourism is considered as a framework where host and tourist can learn better about from each other through direct interaction. Also, tourism requires host community to be more responsive and educated to provide quality services to the tourists. Socio and cultural impacts of tourism and demonstration effect. There is need to give special emphasis upon socio and cultural effects of tourism as effects can either move towards becoming resources or burdens to the people. Tourist movements in the destination convey assorted esteems to the local people, individuals and affects their practices and family life. People and the nearby group may attempt to please visitor or receive traveler practices which are also termed as demonstration effect. These interactions between residents and tourists can be positive as well as negative. Positive impact can be in terms of creative expression of providing new opportunities, and it can be negative if it is putting some unexpected behavioral changes in individuality with new restrictions. Sometimes the increase in tourism can inoculate in the community some different moral conduct, such as improved understanding between genders, which is constructive, or sometimes the increased drug use in local people can be very destructive. The demonstration effect of travelers is that when local people, citizens adopting visitors' behavior, and the addition of tourist facility may also adjust customs. The capability of meeting and marrying non-neighborhood residents may additionally create circle of relative strain. Unethical and illegal practices in destinations. Tourism creates crowding in destinations. Tourism and haphazard construction. Environmental impacts of tourism. Tourism creates very diverse impact of natural environment because it includes numerous exercises that may have unfriendly natural impacts. The vast majority of those effects are connected with the making of general and tourism framework, including streets and air terminals, railroads, inns, amusement park, lodges, resorts, restaurants, stores, golf courses, recreational facilities, etc. The negative impacts of tourism improvement can gradually ruin environmental resources on which it depends. Also, tourism has the potential to create valuable positive impact on the ecology and environment through contributing to environmental protection and nature conservation. Tourism pressure on natural resources. Tourism contributes for land degradation. Tourism contributes for pollution also. Tourism is also somewhere responsible for sewage problem. It is also associated with aesthetic pollution. We can make him responsible for land degradation and loss of biodiversity. But there are few positive environmental impacts also. Tourism contributes financial incentives for conservation. It also contributes for government revenues, and it contributes for environmental management and planning. We can make him responsible for awareness about the environment. Tourism also contributes for protection of environment. Dear learners, let's summarize this topic. Tourism is now a global industry involving of millions of travelers in international as well as domestic travel every year. A huge number of people are getting benefited in tourism industry all around straightforwardly and by implication. A huge number of individuals are forced to bear tourism action as they live in, which is called tourist destination or host community. Tourism is an investigation of man far from his standard territory, of the business which react to his needs and the effects that both he and the business have for the host socio-cultural, monetary and physical condition. There is need that tourism is more sustainable, creating more positive and less negative impacts in terms of social, economic and environmental dimension. Thank you.